Hey friends, so welcome to DBC Inc. Live. We're so excited that you're joining in. We have Amber Teaman in the house. Super excited to talk about all things teacher appreciation. But before we do that, I do want anyone who's joining in to please do tell us who you are, where you're from, and maybe tell us something exciting that's happened this week. And then Amber, I'll let you go ahead and share a little bit about you. Not only is she an educator, she is a leader. She wrote this amazing book with a co-author, Melinda, who might be joining us later, but she's kind of hung up at school. So yeah, Dave, welcome. And Amber, I want you to just share a little more details about who you are, what you do, where you're from, and let everybody know. Remember all these comments over in the comment section. I keep telling her to go, and then I'm like, oh, wait a second. All the comments over in the comment section will enter you to win a free book. So you definitely want to get some comments over there, so you might be the one to win this awesome book full of
I
Amber, take it away, girl.
Oh my goodness. Tara, it's so good to see you. We were chatting. It's probably been a couple of years, and there's been a lot of life that has happened in the last couple of years, huh?
For sure.
So my name is Amber. Yeah, right. My name is Amber. I am a principal turned technology director. I'm actually the current director of technology and innovation in Crandall ISD, which is about 20 minutes outside of downtown Dallas. So if you don't know where Crandall is, surely you've heard of Dallas. And so we are just straight down the highway. But when Melinda and I connected and wrote Lead with Appreciation, I was an elementary principal. I had 680 of the cutest and smartest wolves in all of the land. And I had 70 of the most incredible educators ever that worked for me. And so getting to partner with Melinda, we have a Facebook group called Staff Appreciation and Morale, something along those lines, those words, where we have over 15,000 leaders across the world, not even the nation anymore, it's worldwide, who have contributed to what it means to celebrate, appreciate, empower your staff. And so Melinda and I both recognize that we have this gift of recognizing any sort of snack or treat or occasion, turning it into some way in the same way that some people instantly make sense to be the same to trying to show appreciation. So we created this Facebook group and had all of this amazing ideas, energy, passion. And luckily, that National Principal of the Year, Beth Hoff, reached out and said, you guys should totally turn this into a book. And we did. And it's called Lead with Appreciation. It follows the categorical cycle of a school year. And it genuinely is meant for those who are busy and in the trenches and doing the job to become a resource to just say, it's October, I'm swamped, I'm exhausted, I'm tired, I don't like anybody. What the heck can I even do? And so we've given you month by month. That's really
You're breaking up just a little bit, Amber, but I think, can you guys let us know if you can hear us okay? I think you finished your sentence, though, and I didn't want to jump in if you were still talking. But can you guys hear us okay? Anybody, Dave, can you let us know how it's going on the sound over there? But super excited that you guys did pull this together, put this all together and compact it in just this tiny little book of extraordinary resources. I love the ideas inside here. You can't hear Amber. Okay. So we might need to double. Can y'all hear anything? Because we're continuing on. A little choppy. It's okay. We'll make it happen.
Let me see. Again, Tara and I were discussing that I now live in the country, and so connectivity is a thing here. So
yeah, no biggie. We make it happen. We know it's 2022. We gotta be flexible in this day and age. So we're super excited to have Amber and Lead with Appreciation. Just like she said, they put it together and made it a resource to where you can look and see that we can appreciate those that we work with all year long. We don't have to wait for a special day or a special week Although we do have a special week coming up really soon, and I really wanted to have these ladies on here to talk a little bit about teacher appreciation ideas. And Amber, I know you are just so full of a ton of ideas. So I thought maybe you just throw out a few. And as you guys are listening over in the comment section, if you sort of drop some of the ones that you've seen that you actually like, if you're a teacher, drop those over, because people watch this on the playback. A lot of times people are putting their babies to bed at this time, and we get it. It's no big deal. They watch it on the playback, and we allow all day watching and don't choose our winner until tomorrow. So if you're watching this on the playback, get your comments over there as well, and share ideas with each other, because that's how we help to uplift each other and make everything better. So Amber, I'm going to let you take it away and share a bunch of ideas. And by the way, I'm going to mute mine. So if I see you getting choppy, I will jump back in, but my dog's playing with squeaky toys, so I don't want to interrupt everything.
I love it. I love it. Well, one of the things I think is most important, especially in this season, I see Yesenia has already mentioned it, that one of the biggest gifts that we can give to our people right now is recognizing the season of life that we're in, and how COVID is done, but COVID's still happening, but maybe not. Recognizing that every single one of our people are in a different space, and whether or not your state, county, area, town is doing virtual, not doing virtual, but really recognizing that everyone is in their individual journeys when it comes to where we are in the season of life. And we have teachers who are still taking it very, very seriously, and they are not necessarily out of COVID. So being blasé, being casual is kind of insulting to some of our people in our world. And then there are those who aren't in that same space and place. So really what Melinda and I have kind of touched base on is recognizing that appreciation means that we recognize who our people are and what they need from us. I had 70 amazing educators, which I referenced a while ago, but that meant I had 70 different love languages. And so for every single person who wanted a cupcake from me, there was another person who wanted a note of appreciation. And there was another person who just wanted me to say, hey, Tara, I see you. You haven't seen your parents in 2 years. That is super difficult. And I'm so sorry. I love you. Thank you for doing all that you do for your students, and kind of making that connection happen. Recognizing that any sort of appreciation, if it is not genuine, if it is not meant in the intent in which it's to be received, means that it's not quite the same. My husband's love language is acts of service. Mine are gifts. So if you think about that disconnect, right? Like, I want to buy him all the presents, and he does not want to spend any money ever. And he just wants me to clean the house. That's all that he needs from me in life, right? And our teachers are the exact same way. And so when we did our calorie cart, which is such a huge woot woot wagon, or treats on wheels, snacks on service, any of the things that you want to call it, when I and my staff, because it was never, ever just me, but when my amazing administrative team would wheel that down, I knew that there were 2 teachers in the 4th grade hall that were trying to lose 10 pounds. So I had Slim Fast and protein snacks that were available because those teachers needed that. And just that simple act of recognizing that those people weren't bought in with chocolate, or didn't need a cupcake, and that was going to just go in the trash can or go to their husband, it meant that I took that extra step. And so as you're planning your appreciation, have you recognize and know, have you acknowledged, can you speak to all of your people's love languages? And in the same way that we want our teachers to honor and recognize 22 IEPs, right? The same thing is true when it comes to showing acts of teacher appreciation. Involving your community, involving your teachers. We have a lot of questions on the Facebook page that say, hey, how do you guys fund this? Where do you get this money? Is this coming out of your pocket? Because my husband's not down for that. We would reach out to our parents and, hey, 1st grade parents, I need you to bring Little Debbie's. Hey, 2nd grade parents, I need you to bring drinks. Hey, 3rd grade parents, can you bring a carb, a chip, a something along those lines, to where you can kind of divide and conquer. You're involving your community, but it's still bringing in, husbands do love cupcakes, Dave, that is true. But that way you can involve a number of people. It diversifies the opportunity to amplify appreciation, which is super important. But it also means that I, Amber Teaman, am not using Michael Teaman's checkbook to pay for any of my acts of appreciation.
I like that, and I appreciate that too. I think it's really important to learn those love languages. So I'm curious, like, how did you survey your teachers to kind of figure that out, or did you just like 70's a lot? Like how did you learn all of those?
Well, it was definitely a 5.5, 6 year experience, Tara.
Yeah.
That first year, it took a while. And I think it's fair to say, and I think I talk about this in the book, that at the end of my first year, 71% of my staff said that they would rather work somewhere else. And I immediately went into panic meltdown mode and was like, and I'm done here. Because Walmart hiring, like, where can I go work next? Because those are tragic statistics. I don't want to do this anymore. And luckily, we have some fantastic friends in our world. I reached out to Todd Whitaker actually and sent him my statistics and was like, hey, I suck at this job. My people hate me. Todd, what do I do? And he goes, Amber, take a step back. 71% of your people may have said they want to work somewhere else, but that's because 25% want to be administrators, 30% want to be stay-at-home moms, 10% are probably just never ever going to get you. Like, you've got to kind of learn and love your way into this position. Once my people recognized that my inherent ability to grab a Little Debbie snack and write a rhyme about it and present it to them was more about me than it was necessarily about them, we had this mutual thing. You can't rush relationships, and it doesn't matter how long you've been there. You have to get to know your people. It's conversations. It's building genuine connections that aren't, hi, good morning, how are you? Because Tara, when you're the principal, your jokes are funny and your outfits are cute. Like, that's just the default of the position, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It takes more conversations.
It's so true. And it's just about time. And I love the phrase that you said, you can't rush relationships. I think that's so true in everything that we do as teachers, as administrators. It doesn't matter what role you're in or what field you're in. I mean, that's the same no matter where. I do think there's there's some ways to, like you said, like to ask them to find out, like, what is it that you love? What makes you feel valued? What makes you feel appreciated? And just knowing, I mean, sometimes just a quick little, I want to know, like, put it on a sticky note on the way out of the staff meeting. I just want to know, like, what makes you feel valued? What makes you feel appreciated? That's it. I just want to know. And then just like putting all that in a Google form or something to keep, in a Google sheet, just something where you can have it until you learn it, like as they're coming in, you're like, okay, let me see what Miss Smith is really into. Oh, okay. I want to make sure words of affirmation are super important to her. I want to make sure that during our evaluation, during everything, that I'm giving her those words of,
it was a thing.
Yeah.
My superintendent in Wiley, one of the first, he asked 3 questions right when you got hired. What do you want to be called? How do you want to be recognized? And what matters the most to you? And the how do you want to be recognized was so incredibly important, because if you were super introverted and you never wanted to be publicly celebrated, he would make sure that he came to you privately and personally and acknowledged what you did and what you had done. However, if you were like an Amber Teaman who wanted sprinkles and cupcakes, then he would make sure that he showed up with sprinkles and cupcakes to celebrate you. And just that simple act of, what is it that makes you feel valued? Which again is more than a Google survey. It's more than just a checkbox. Please check the box that correlates to your love language in order for me to celebrate you, right? Which feels super manipulative. If it's not, again, genuine, as our people are saying, you just can't rush that. You've got to get to know people. And it's that conversation in PLCs where she's not grabbing chocolate and she says, oh, I'm trying to lose these last 5 pounds. Well, then I know I've got an ice cream treat planned on Thursday. What am I going to do to still celebrate her? Because the act there is to acknowledge all of my people, not just the ones who want to eat the ice cream with me.
Right. Exactly. I appreciate that, especially from a girl with a billion food allergies who never got to partake in any of that fun stuff.
And I would know that, like ordering gluten-free. My assistant principal, my last 2.5 years, didn't eat gluten. And so, oh, my lizard, do you know how hard it is to find Little Debbies that don't have gluten? But I did it. Like, we would find the things to make sure that we said. One time I had her car vacuum and detailed because I couldn't give you a snack, but I can do something else for you. It's taking the time to just those simple things that you can do to help show I can't increase your pay. I can't make your job easier. I can't make the parents be nicer. I can't make that kid listen. But dadgummit, I can give you a postcard that says, I see you. You're busting your butt. You're doing the hard work. Dave. I can do those sorts of things to help compensate for those areas that I can't make up, if that makes sense.
And I think that's the bottom line of it. I mean, just authentic appreciation. And that's why I think this book has just been so incredible, just because it does give a lot of ideas. But at the end of the day, it's up to you as the leader, as the teacher, as whoever is reading this and wanting to share that appreciation with somebody, to get to know them. Like, what is it that makes them feel valued? What is it that makes them feel, seen, like you said? I love that so much. And I think with with small teams, it's easy to figure that out. But bigger teams, we have to be more intentional. And as teachers, as your, teachers that are in here with your students, I mean, we have to be super intentional with that to figure out, this one doesn't like to be called on. I love that your superintendent said that, because there's so many people that is not like, that's anxiety. That's like giving them anxiety. Worse. And then there's people like me, like you can call on me. I'm all in. I'll stand up. Like I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. I want to hear some gratitude in front of all my people. Like, I'll take it. I like you. I don't need a cupcake. I just like to hear all that.
Yes. So one of the things that Melinda Neal, who is a local Texas girl administrator, works for at TESPA, TEPSA, Texas Elementary Principal Supervisor Association. One of the things that she told me right when I first got named that I thought was an amazing trick. I had a staff list, and we give you this template in the book where you listed your staff and whatever your active appreciation was, whenever you sat down with your administrative team, that you would check off the people that it related to. And so one of my big things was, again, words of affirmation. I sent every single one of my wolves a postcard every single year. So 680 kids got a postcard from their principal that said, hey, Tara, I saw that you were working so hard in small group reading. You keep practicing. I'm so proud of you. Love, Mrs. Teaman. I wanted them to know that I saw them. I saw what they were trying to do, and that I knew who they were, right? And so we had a checklist where every single kid, we went through and we checked it off. The same thing was true for my staff. And whether it was a happy note or a snack or something, I checked off their names, because Amber and Tara stand out in a crowd, right? We're loud, we're bouncy, we're smiley. But then you have some Amanda Martins who maybe are a little bit more reclusive, who aren't in the front of the line, who aren't going to come out of their way to say anything to you, that you naturally may not think of when you think, oh, who am I wanting to recognize for being awesome at the pep rally today? Amanda might have faded to the back. So I made sure that I checked off names so that the things and the people, the acts that matter to me, weren't something that were acts of convenience, but it was super strategic and intentional. And I wanted to make sure that from my secretary to my janitor to my fourth grade rock star 3-test teachers, everyone received some sort of acknowledgement from me every single semester. The things that matter to us, we track, right? Our grocery list, our Christmas card list, any of those things that you want to make sure that you don't forget, you keep track of, and you cross out, check off, all those kinds of things. The same was true for me when it came to making sure my staff felt empowered and appreciated, and that we had this culture that's what I wanted to do.
I love that. And I think it's so important, because if you don't track it, then like, I think even when you do track it, even with students, even in the classroom, like sometimes I track it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've done something special for this one like 3 times. Like, I can't check that again. I've got to go to somebody else, like, because your mind just automatically goes there. There's are doing something and it's very bold and you can see it, but the others are doing great things too. There's still a little
exactly. And as a leader, it made sense to me that the person who isn't, again, in the front of the crowd chanting and waving their hands isn't working hard behind the scenes. They're not there to have the public appreciation. They're there for the kids. And if I have to, as the leader, have to look a little bit harder to be able to acknowledge and recognize and really personalize what my words were or what my actions were, then that's on me as the boss to get my butt in that classroom and say, hey, you're pulling 15 small groups per math lesson. Hey, you're sending personalized packets. You're doing all of these things, whatever the case may be, to recognize our wolves. That matters to me. That's on me to find. That's not on the teacher to prove, right?
Right, exactly. They shouldn't have to. They're doing their job, right? And that should be enough. Like you said, we need to get out there and see it. Love this conversation. It's so good. It's already almost to the end. I feel like we could just talk all night, Amber, especially since it's been a couple years since we got on here. I will say that we have a special deal. Like, we know Teacher Appreciation is coming next week, and we are running a special deal on Lead with Appreciation, the Kindle version. So we at DBC, this man right here, Dave Burgess, Shelley Burgess, they wanted to let our teachers know that we appreciate you. I know a lot of you would love to read this book, and maybe you're just feeling overwhelmed, or it's expensive and we have all these expenses. Maybe you're buying special treats for your kids during testing season. I know that stuff happens. And so we wanted to make this at a very affordable price for you. And so if you go right now and you purchase the Kindle, I think Dave put the link up here. Right here, it's covering up our faces. But if you go purchase the Kindle, it's only $2.99 for just a limited time. So you can check that out, and you can get more of these incredible ideas from Amber per month. And Melinda, sorry, Melinda couldn't join us tonight, but if she were here, I know she would be sharing a lot of cool stuff too. And you don't
100%.
want to book. It's so good. It's so good. These ladies are dynamic in everything that they do. But Amber, before you leave us, is there anything else you want to share before we walk away from here? And then we'll finish up with some of your contact information so people can find you.
Yeah. Well, again, in life, I think that it's easy in this season and I've seen, again, as you and I both are very prolific on the Twitters and in some of the spaces, to get overwhelmed and to think that either the expense or the time or the commitment, or like, again, super easy read. Melinda and I are casual to a fault. And so the things that we write and share are not complicated. They're not expensive. And we give you ideas and suggestions at how to make them happen. But more than all of that, as I think that several of the people have referenced here, it's literally about making connections with your people. And right now, our jobs are hard, y'all. Like, they're hard jobs. And it's hard to be a teacher. It's hard to be a principal. It's hard to be a superintendent. It's just so difficult. And so if nothing else, read this book to rejuvenate and give yourself some easy ideas. We gave you the what, the where, the how. We gave plenty of templates, plenty of suggestions where you can just kind of not have to think hard and recreate the wheel, but also to know that sometimes eye contact and, hey, I see you, I appreciate you. Those aren't hard things. Those aren't timely things. Those aren't jeans passes or a cupcake. Like, it's just an acknowledgement of, what can I take off your plate? What can I do that makes your world this week easier? That, to some of our people, is the difference between jumping off the edge of the cliff and coming back to us next year. Is an administrator who says, how can I make your job easier? Because you do a lot for us.
I love it. And I think we can all do that. Like, we can all find those moments, those special moments, to let people know that we appreciate them. And if you're not a leader, this could apply to your colleagues, right? I mean, there's so many people, there's so many ways that every single person that's listening to this live and then we'll listen to it in the future, this applies to you. There's so many people that we can show our appreciation to. There's a lot of people working behind the scenes that we don't see. Make sure to acknowledge them. Think about them. Be intentional. Think about all the different people that make your system run, and how can we show them that we appreciate them? They may not be in the front, like Amber was saying. They may not be like the two of us, really loud and boisterous, that you can't miss them. But let's think about all the different people that need appreciation, but especially our teachers. Next week is Teacher Appreciation Week, and they should be appreciated year round. But if you, I've enjoyed every Thursday. I do Treat a Teacher Thursday, and I've just had so much fun with it. I made a commitment to do it from August to May. And so we're ending the year, but it's been so fun just to find little tiny things just to show teachers around the world, not just here in Lawrence, but a lot of them are here in Lawrence. That I appreciate them. And I usually just bring them something. I just notice something on their social media that I can kind of bring them a little something, or that I've actually worked with them before and I know kind of some of the things they like. But it's just been fun to it's been so sweet to see the reciprocation of it, because when they come back and say, wow, I mean, you knew who I was. Like, especially if there's somebody on Twitter and I sent them a Starbucks gift card, they're like, you know who I am? Like, what? I'm like, yes, and you're killing it out there. I'm like, I'm so happy. I'm so proud of you. And I think just anytime we can let people know that we appreciate them, it's just like it's the tiniest thing. It grows so much. Like their heart just feels so full, from something so small. So yeah, please do check these out. Amber has so many great ideas. I need to reread this book actually, because I kind of want to grab some of those ideas again. Should have been grabbing them all year for my teacher. I'm about to finish up this year with that sucker. So do check it out. And Amber, I know Dave has put some of your information over here, but you said you had a special Facebook page. So we definitely want to add that in here if you don't mind mentioning that.
Yeah, the Principal Staff Appreciation Group. It is it is straight up, it's for administrators. It's a space where we as leaders can connect, because I had teachers who would stalk me on social media and I could never surprise them. And so that was one of the things in our book, is like, we want you to be surprised. But I share on my Instagram page, which I saw Dave linked, and then I'm, again, quite loquacious on the Twitters. But there are plenty of spaces to connect with me. It's all rainbows and sunshine. So if you're looking for that, people, come hang out with me, because that's what I bring to the table. But if you ever need an ear, or if you need a suggestion, I can't even tell you the amount of people who send me a direct message that says, give me help me. I have this item. What is a rhyme? What is a way that I can use this to celebrate my people? And y'all, I can rattle those rhymes off like a boss. So
she's good. And if you don't, you should definitely follow her, because I love the stuff you put out. The little images with little phrases. They're just always so uplifting and encouraging. There's many times I'm just screenshotting this. I'm like, I need to read this again later. It's just so good. So yeah, thank you so much. Good job, Yasina. Yes, definitely follow this principles. Yasina said principles, so this will be so great for her. Rainbows and sunshine. Yes, Kristen. She's your girl. Kristen loves flare pins. I do know that.
I have a whole array right here.
I feel like you guys would match up really well. Awesome. Well, you guys have a wonderful Thursday evening. I did forget to mention the hook of the week. I will drop that here. I'll let Dave drop the link to the blog over here, but it is the craft store hook. So if you are looking to hook your students and you want to try the hook of the week from Dave's Teach Like a Pirate this week, it's the craft store hook. So thinking about like, what craft could go with this lesson? What can I have the students create with materials that I just put out there that actually correlates with what we're talking about in the lesson? And so we've written a little blog about it, some questions you can ask yourself. And it's an excerpt straight from Teach Like a Pirate. So definitely, hopefully he's going to drop that over here. But in case he doesn't, I'm going to grab it real quick. And Amber, I'll let you tell them goodbye. And I'll drop this blog over here. And you guys, we will see you next Thursday, same place, same time. But Amber, go ahead and take it away. Say your farewells, and I'll drop this blog over here for everyone.
Fastest 30 minutes of the week. How does that even happen? But again, Tara, I feel like you and I could just go on forever. So thank you so much for having me. Melinda and I are oh so honored and appreciative of, obviously, Dave Burgess and everything that he and his crew does for us, you included. But again, know that we are both here and ready to help. And even though I'm not in that principal chair, I sure do appreciate it when I get the chance to jump back in and do fun stuff. So thanks for having me tonight.
Thank you, Amber. We appreciate you so much. Bye, everyone. See you next Thursday.